First, if we could begin with Virginia, what is your degree of confidence that in the state Supreme Court, this map that so favors the Democrats will be upheld?
I think it's going to be upheld because the court is going to uphold the will of the people. The people had a vote, and unlike what you've seen with Republican redistricting in places like Texas, what they're looking at doing in Florida, it has not gone to the people. The people have not had an opportunity to have their voices heard. But in California, the people were clear. And in Virginia, the people's voice was clear too. So I think the court is going to uphold the will of the people, and these maps will stand. And because people are tired of Republicans trying to rig the system, they want to elect their representatives, not have politicians pick their voters.
So what's your feeling about this, Congresswoman? After months and months of hand-wringing and court cases and a lot of fear initially among Democrats when President Trump got this whole ball rolling in Texas, we're now in a world in which I don't know what will happen in Florida and how Ron DeSantis might get his arms around this, but we could be in a world where it's either a wash or Democrats end up with at least one extra seat than Republicans. So, I mean, are you guys laughing about this behind the scenes? Is this a big eye roll? Because it sure seemed to be a waste of time.
Well, we were clear from the very beginning. Be careful what you ask for. We are going to fight back with everything we have because the American people hate this. The people of Texas hated it. They did get a say. The people of California were very clear and responded strongly that they want to fight for fair elections. And you know, if Republicans were winning in the hearts and minds of the American people, they knew that voters were on their side, they wouldn't be going down this path. They're going down this path because people have soured on the Republican agenda. They know they're losing. Instead of listening to people and understand the damage their policies are having on working families across the country, they've decided that they're going to instead try to rig the system in their favor. And people have responded strongly all across the country. I mean, Missouri, another state that they're trying to change the maps, there are signatures to take it to a referendum, take it to the voters, and Republicans are doing everything they can to prevent that. Florida has a law in place, and yet Governor DeSantis is trying to go around, once again, a amendment voted on by the people of Florida that would tell them not to do redistricting. They're going to try to do it anyway. So every time we have gone to the voters, they've decided, and I think that's the message across the board. People are tired of the games Republicans are playing, and they want folks who are going to stand up for them.
Well, when we consider the game that is being played and the precedent it is now setting, Congresswoman, are you concerned at all that what we're seeing happen is, and we were talking about this with former Obama campaign manager Jim Messina on this show just yesterday, that you're seeing more solidly Republican and more solidly Democratic districts and very few swing districts as a result of this? Swing districts are your focus. I think you're targeting more than 40 of them in this election cycle. What happens if there's not going to be as many flippable seats going forward?
Well, I think that's what Republicans have done, even in their gerrymandering in Texas. They ended up thinking they were creating safe seats, and we have opportunities to pick up seats in Texas because we've been, people have soured on the Republican agenda. They have struggled with rising costs, with the instability and uncertainty in the economy that has been brought on by Trump and Republicans in Congress. And so we've seen huge overperformance in special elections across the country by Democrats because people are speaking out. So those districts that you might have at one point said were kind of safe districts, lots of those districts are in play. We have 44 districts across the country where we're on offense, and we have great candidates running, and we only need 3 more seats to net 3 more seats to take back the gavels, which we will in November.
We'd like to talk to you, Congresswoman, about the money and the messaging, and I'll start with the money. Do you care at this point about these numbers? The RNC alone has $109 million on hand versus the DNC, which is looking at debt, and the NRCC too has a cash advantage over the DCCC. Does that matter if you think you're winning on the message?
We have been working incredibly hard to make sure that we are getting our message out, and we are. Our candidates And our incumbents in swing districts have been strong fundraisers. They have an advantage over their opponents across the board. We are in a strong position. And yes, they have a lot of money. You see Trump raising money into his own super PAC. We are going to have the resources that we need to get our message out across the country. And we have incredible candidates. They don't have a message, they don't have the candidates, and the American people want folks who are going to stand up for them. So I think we are absolutely in a strong position across the board, and we will take back seats all across the country.
Well, as you talk about standing up for the American people on these various issues, Congresswoman, of course, Democrats tried to take a stand when it comes to the funding of ICE and CBP. We have seen the Department of Homeland Security shut down for, 70 days as a result of that. But now the Republicans are moving forward with a budget reconciliation package to fund those very agencies for the next 3.5 years. And Democrats don't have many reforms to ICE enforcement to show for it. Congresswoman, is that going to be disappointing to the electorate you're talking about?
People across the board want there to be reforms. They've seen the violence in communities across the country, and we're going to stand up for those reforms. I don't know if Republicans know what the heck they're doing. They don't even agree with each other. They have created a shutdown, including on places where there was bipartisan agreement to make sure there was funding for Coast Guard, for FEMA, for TSA, and yet Republicans were incapable of even opening up those parts of DHS. So they're continuing to fumble in some direction. We'll see what they do, but we're going to continue to stand up. We should be making sure that the government is open, and we should be making sure that we have an agency following the law that is making sure that they are not creating violence in our communities across the country. That's what we're standing up for, and that's what the American people want to see.